So Rick drew us a model here. Hopefully everybody can see this, but so what we focused on was the intersection between ecosystem services, population, and security. So population and security are influencing or impacting ecosystem services. So just for a bit of context as to how we visualize what was before us, and we came up with 6 recommendations. And what I should say, so this was a common theme in our group, is that we really need to put all of these recommendations in economic terms. So monetizing ecosystem services. So what are potential damages in monetary terms for ecosystem services, what are productivity losses, things like that. So just to keep that in mind as we go through these recommendations. So recommendation number 1 is to integrate across scales and concerns by encouraging agencies on both sides of the border to include all stakeholders to resolve conflict among population, security, and environment ecosystem services. So really this need, and this has been a common theme over the past few days, to be integrating between all of these various levels, federal, state, local, across agencies. We need to increase dialogue, increase information flow, communication between all of these different entities. Number 2 is to draft binational contingency plans for natural disasters and emergencies by setting up the mechanisms and instruments for transporter understanding and consultation, including local to federal jurisdictions, or transcending local to federal jurisdictions. So again, this idea of the transboundary environmental impact assessment, but in the context of natural disasters, emergencies. Number 3, we want to preserve, protect, conserve biodiversity, ecosystem services. And the goal here is to find resiliency and integrate that into urban, binational urban and rural planning by enabling local ecological environmental issues to be raised. So again, this comprehensive planning, binational planning at the urban and rural scale. So also recognizing the interconnection between urban areas dependent upon rural areas for those ecosystem services. So really, again, they need to be integrated as well. Number 4, carry binational recommendations to all levels of government and private sector by publishing the proceedings of the last few days and presenting these recommendations to key sectors along, on both sides of the border. Okay, I'm sure Paul and others already had that planned. Number 5, include security and preparedness and emergency in urban development plans by mandating developers work with municipalities and other planning organizations. So again, as we're planning on both sides of the border, this is sort of the reverse. We need to take security and preparedness into our local level plans, and we need to do this, be doing this on both sides of the border. Did I get that right? Okay. And then our final recommendation, this goes back to sort of the context, is to establish a mechanism to monetize the impacts, lost value, lost productivity, ecosystem services, health costs. We didn't get to the why or the how, but this really gets to communicating in economic terms, in monetary terms, and that people can relate to what all this means in terms of real impacts.